Hello, and welcome on behalf of Baylor University's Honors College, which I am delighted to serve as Dean. My name is Douglas Henry. Almost 20 years ago, I came to Baylor because I was inspired by its great mission to educate men and women for worldwide leadership and service by integrating academic excellence and Christian commitment within a caring community. Over the years, I have found that mission inspiring day in and day out as I find my place alongside a great faculty and staff who likewise share that vision, who see our calling as nurturing and educating young men and women to realize their very best as stewards of their gifts and opportunities before God. Within the Honors College, we give expression to a distinctive mission in service to the university mission. That vision in the Honors College is to help students learn to love truth, to kindle faith, and to cultivate virtue in friendship, study, and service to Christ and neighbor. Together, the university mission and the Honors College vision help define who we are and help make sense of the special opportunities we have here for you. Over the next few minutes, I want to give you an introduction to some of the distinctive characteristics, more particularly, of study in the Honors College. And I want to do so by addressing a few questions that you might have. If you were to be a student with us in the Honors College, first, what will you learn? Second, how will you learn? Third, from whom will you learn? And fourth, with whom will you learn? Let me begin with that first question. What will you learn? As an Honors College student, we want for you to acquire both depth of understanding and breadth of learning. Depth within the university is a feature characteristically cultivated by study within a major in pursuit of a particular degree. Honors College students at Baylor have access to the full range of majors, dozens of which our students pursue each year in all the varied degrees of each college or school within the university. Depth within the major might take place for you as a pre-med student or a pre-law student, pursuing biology perhaps, or chemistry perhaps, on the one hand, or political science or philosophy or Latin on the other hand. But not only our pre-professional students in medicine and law deserve mention, but all the other varied possibilities, whether you're interested in theater or history, whether you're interested in nursing or education, social work or engineering, classics or religion. Any major available at the university is likewise available for you as an Honors College student. To that major and the depth that you would acquire under ordinary circumstances, we add additional rigor by giving you access to honors sections of courses that you would otherwise be required to take anyway as a major. We provide you an understanding of the details available through focused research, if as an honors student, for example, you were to pursue a senior thesis. Depth in your field is important, but so also is breadth of learning. And here the Honors College shines in a distinctive sort of way. We want all of our students, in whichever of our many programs you pursue, to have access to what Matthew Arnold famously called the best which has been thought and said throughout the world. We want you to have access to firsthand learning, to the great classics of literature and history and philosophy and theology, to the epic poets, and to the masters of suspicion of the 20th century. We want you to have learning that spans history, from Homer to Dorothy Day and Flannery O'Connor and beyond. That breadth of learning is important because ultimately it's about the acquisition of wisdom. Wisdom, that most precious of things, which helps us understand both our destiny, our future, our possibilities in the days ahead, and also helps us navigate the problems and puzzles and predicaments of life in our here and now. One of the authors whose works I love to read and to which I often return was a woman by the name of Edith Hamilton. In the early part of the 20th century, when times were quite desperate on the European continent, Edith Hamilton had this to say: "When the world is storm-driven and the bad that happens and the worst that threatens are so great as to blot out everything else from view. Then we need all the strong fortresses of the Spirit which men have built through the ages. The eternal perspectives are being blotted out, she goes on to say, and our judgment of immediate issues will go awry unless we recover them. Miss Hamilton's conception of wisdom, of the time-tested truths which endure over time, is at the heart of the kind of broad learning we want every honor student at Baylor to acquire. We want you to understand the meaning of life, and we want to help you navigate the difficulties of life, which sooner or later confront us all. What will you learn as an honors college student then? Depth and breadth, mastery of a particular discipline, and the capacious grasp of the best which has been thought and said. We want you to learn to be skilled interpreters of literature, careful and subtle and critical readers, gifted, artful, cogent writers, gracious and personable communicators, whether one-on-one or before large groups of people. We want for you to learn to lead convictionally and to relate gracefully. That is, we're about that ambitious mission of educating men and women for worldwide leadership and service by integrating academic faith, academic excellence, and Christian faith within a caring community. That is an ambitious vision of education, and it's one that we hope you rally around. Let me turn to the second question. How will you learn? Within the Honors College, we give you access to small classes of students, often organized in seminar style, that are discussion intensive, in which you have opportunity to bring your questions, to bring your insights, to seek understanding alongside the company of an engaged set of companions. In that setting, we believe you have opportunity to realize your very best as a thinker. We don't want to talk to you, as I am now, but to relate to you as co-laborers in the exercise and the enterprise of learning. And we want you to gain understanding of knowledge, not as a possession to sequester away for your own benefit, but to understand knowledge as something in which to rejoice and to share as a gift for the benefit of others. In this way, you learn most gloriously and effectively. We also want, in thinking about how you will learn, within the Honors College to help you understand the benefits of interdisciplinarity of thinking. So we offer interdisciplinary education, which takes shape across our 4 programs, more about which I'll mention things in a moment. But suffice it to say for now that interdisciplinarity is important because it helps round out our perspective. It helps us understand the limits of particular branches of knowledge and the methodologies they bring to learning. They help us appreciate the wide panoply of ways in which people might understand the world and to put them back together into a holistic understanding of the world in which we live. That third question, from whom will you learn, is a truly important question. All teachers and professors, whether by default or design, teach in a way such that they hope their students will come to love the things that they love, treasure the things that they prize intellectually, come to think in some cases as they think about the world. That is, we teach in a way that is influential, and thus it's important for you to think about that influence and who the people are from whom you will learn. Within the Honors College, we have a dedicated faculty of 35 professors whose primary purpose and principal calling each and every day is to work alongside bright, ambitious undergraduates like you. We love to see our students thrive in the classroom, we mentor them capably outside of the classroom, and we rejoice to send them on into the world in order to excel in whatever their given discipline or profession might happen to be. Hailing from the very best universities to be found from around the world, trained as PhDs across a wide range of disciplines, these faculty have what it takes to help you realize your very highest potential. Baylor University, from its founding in 1845, was explicitly about Christian education, and our faculty have been hired because of their Christian faith and commitment. At the same time, Baylor has always welcomed students not only of the Baptist faith, which is at the origins of the university, but across the Christian denominations, and indeed welcomes students of other religions and of no faith at all. In this way, we balance, on the one hand, the commitment and the conviction of a dedicated faculty whose faith matters for them, who informs how they look at the world, and whose faith does not have to be hid, but which is hospitably open to and accessible to all the students we welcome into the university, whether or not they happen to share that faith. So, from whom will you learn? You'll learn from a faculty that goes to church, that cares about their faith, and that wrestles with its implications for how we understand the world and how we articulate the knowledge that we have in our disciplines. You'll learn from a faculty who hospitably invites students of deep faith and of no faith to think about the most central questions that confront all human beings, and to do so with academic integrity and rigor. Fourth, and finally, with whom will you learn? Here, the news is likewise bracing and encouraging. In the Honors College, you'll learn alongside other bright, disciplined, ambitious students who come to class ready, who come to class having completed assignments, not merely as a function of ordinary discipline, but who do so with verve, with zeal, with dedication, who want to learn, and who thus come alongside you in your classrooms with better questions, deeper understanding, richer awareness of the implications of what is being studied, and with a generosity of spirit that encourages and nurtures you, not as a competitor, but as a friend. The community that we enjoy in the Honors College, both among our students, among our faculty and staff, and throughout the larger community that encompasses all of us together alongside our far-flung alumni, is a source of encouragement, enrichment, and blessing. You will learn thus within the Honors College alongside a terrific cohort of fellow laborers in learning who are dedicated to understanding and who are charitable and gracious in helping you to learn well also. What will you learn? How will you learn? From whom will you learn? With whom will you learn? These are fundamental and basic questions you should be asking about any university you're considering studying at. And I've tried to give you some sense of what it is that you might provide, what it is that you might grasp by way of answers to those questions if you are to join us here in our Honors College. Finally, let me say a few words about the distinctive ways in which you might pursue honors level education at Baylor. Within our college, we provide students the opportunity to pursue 2 majors and 2 programs, any of which may be mixed and matched with one another. In other words, we're not a one-size-fits-all kind of honors college. We want to be responsive to the range of ways in which you're interested in being challenged to fulfill your potential. Let me say something first about the majors. One of our majors, the University Scholars major, is open to about 80 new students each year. It provides the opportunity to pursue an individually customized program of study leading to the Bachelor of Arts in University Scholars. 5 courses in the degree are prescribed. The remainder of the degree is tailored to your particular interest, allowing you to combine sometimes wide-ranging and disparate programs of study. You might pursue a concentration as a university scholar in theater arts and political science on the one hand, or perhaps you're interested in combining biochemistry and history. Whatever your interests may be, university scholars are among the brightest and most elite academic group of students throughout the university. University scholars are automatically part of the honors program as well, which means that they complete a thesis, culminates their experience as students in the university. About a third of our university scholars are pre-med students, and they have the very highest acceptances into medical school of any group of students in the university. Similar things can be said for university scholars who are pursuing law school or graduate school, or who move immediately into the workplace upon graduation. The second major is the great text major. Great text majors have access to some of those things I mentioned earlier, the best which has been thought and said throughout the ages, the deep wells of wisdom which Edith Hamilton mentioned, in a major that historically runs from Homer to Cormac McCarthy, and that includes opportunities to study not only historic great texts, but thematized courses in great text around confession and autobiography, or Christian spirituality, or great text by women. The great text major represents an admirable, concentrated study of literature and history and philosophy and theology, a humanities major that prepares you to do all things well. Because it's a relatively compact major, many of our great text majors combine it with a secondary major, allowing them to define themselves pre-professionally or vocationally in particular kinds of ways. Now, let me say a few things about the two programs available within the Honors College. First, the Baylor Interdisciplinary Core, or BIC for short, provides an alternative form of general education available to 180 to 200 incoming students each year. Unlike an ordinary general education core, the Baylor Interdisciplinary Core provides students with a comprehensive, coherent, systematic, interactive, and interdisciplinary understanding of all those disciplines that are typically taught in piecemeal fashion in ordinary general education programs. What students in typical fashion would pursue in separate courses of history, or literature, or social science, or natural science, are bound together in interdisciplinary fashion, pursued in a cohort-based model within the BIC. In this way, students have an understanding of how all the varied parts and pieces of learning fit together. And again, true to interdisciplinary education, many of our BIC courses are team-taught, bringing you the insight and the expertise of faculty across the disciplines. So instead of studying history and religion, philosophy and theology separately, you might pursue them in integrated fashion within such courses as world cultures or social world. The BIC provides students the very best kind of coherence to their education because each of the faculty members within the BIC understand the curriculum from beginning to end, allowing them to draw connections and put things together that otherwise might be left off as loose ends. Students in the BIC emerge very well prepared indeed, both to navigate the breadth of learning we want of all our honor students and to be prepared with all those skills that are important for excellence within their chosen major and field of study. Finally, the Honors Program. The Honors Program represents the oldest effort in honors education within the Honors College. Indeed, it predates the Honors College, having made its founding in 1959. We've been at honors education a long time indeed at Baylor. Our honors program provides students the opportunity to have access to honors level coursework, both within their major and as a part of their core curriculum. It provides honors students the company of other outstanding students who are disciplined and well prepared within those courses. Within the first year, students make their way through those honors designated courses, both outside the Honors College and also within it, as part of fresh year seminars, thematically organized around relevant and interesting topics, within a series of 2 great text courses that provide a common educational experience for all honors program students. As juniors and seniors, our honors program students take up the most ambitious and most celebratory aspect of their education, the thesis project. First working in independent studies with a professor who has been important to their education, who has mentored them carefully. And then beyond those independent studies, they move into thesis-driven study that gives rise, by the time they arrive at the spring semester of their junior year, in the form of completed baccalaureate thesis defended before a panel of 3 professors. Students who pursue the honors program and who complete the thesis enter medical school or law school or graduate school or the workplace with a demonstrable indication of capacity for difficult and demanding, yes, but for rewarding and responsible, independently pursued work. Such an accomplishment communicates to admissions committees or to prospective employers. Here is someone who is ready to be charged with responsibility. Here is someone who is mature in thought and bearing and who is capable of doing work at a level of excellence that matches precisely the sort of person we want to have in our med school or law school or workplace. 2 majors, 2 programs. These 4 programs provide students across Baylor the opportunity to customize the character of their honors education, to realize a potential that we see as nascent and as important to call forth, to do things not, as I said, in a one-size-fits-all kind of way, but in a form that is responsive to who you are as a student and how you would like to be challenged. It is a privilege to serve our Honors College as Dean. It is an honor to work alongside gifted faculty and staff who will invest themselves in your education, within the classroom as your teachers and outside of the classroom as your mentors, and to do all of this in service to a mission that we find inspiring. I welcome you to explore the opportunities for outstanding honors education at Baylor. We would love to have you among our midst. We look forward to an opportunity to welcome you onto our campus, and I hope for an occasion in the near future to meet and get to know you personally. Thank you for your time.